What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from Brooklyn, New York. This is Panthers Pride Television. Yes, I do have a Christian McCaffrey jersey, vintage, throwback. We know McCaffrey is like a top 3 running back in Panthers history of all time, but maybe top 3 running back in Panthers history of all time. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so there have been some more coaching moves. If you don't know, we have officially fired, a couple weeks back, our outside linebackers coach and also our DB coach. Well, now we move on from a DB assistant who was a former 3-time Pro Bowler in D'Angelo Hall. Now, if you don't know who D'Angelo Hall is, here's just a little rundown on him. D'Angelo Hall played for 3 different teams in his NFL career. He played for the then Washington Redskins, the then Oakland Raiders, and the Atlanta Falcons as well. During his tenure, he had 11 forced fumbles, 141 pass breakups, 814 total tackles, 43 interceptions, and he was a 3-time Pro Bowler. Now, what is one thing that has been a huge or glaring issue defensively for the Carolina Panthers? Obviously, we cannot stop the run. D'Angelo Hall doesn't contribute to us stopping the run. But us on the back end has been terrible. You think about the acquisitions that we had. You think about us getting Jordan Fuller, who I'm going to be talking about a little later. Us getting Xavier Woods, who I'm also going to be talking about just a little later. And you have a guy of this magnitude on your team, on your coaching staff, a guy who has played some of the best ball during the 2000s at the defensive cornerback spot. And he's out here coaching up these guys, and we were expecting a lot from him. And we're just getting bombed over bad dag week in and week out. 534 total points, the most in NFL history. And to a certain degree, he has kind of contributed to it. Now, I want to know with D'Angelo Hall, you know J.C. Horn is the number 1 corner. Why isn't he traveling? I still have yet to get an answer from that. Why isn't J.C. Horn traveling with the best receivers? We see it with Pat Surtain, Derek Stingley, Sauce Gardner to a certain extent. He'll be traveling more because DJ Reed is probably on his way out the door. But you see it with Tariq Woolen, Joey Porter Jr., the corner from the Steelers. You see it with all these top-end corners. They're traveling with the best receiver. And for some odd reason, J.C. Horn can lock up, but he's not traveling. And I think this is just a bigger microscope on our defense. Like, we did not fire our defensive coordinator, but if this season he doesn't produce with what might transpire in free agency and what Dan Morgan's talking about in free agency, if he does not produce on a defensive end, we're going to move on from our defensive coordinator as well. We just hired some more guys that were in better, more prominent coaching staffs. We hired the guy from the Los Angeles Rams. We hired the guy from the Los Angeles Chargers. One was a former defensive coordinator. One was an outside linebacker, a D-line coach. Like, these are a talent that we're bringing in now on our defensive side because we know that we are just that bad. And I'm not saying that D'Angelo Hall is a bad coach. We know he was a damn good cornerback when he was playing in the National Football League. And this isn't to poo-poo on him, but I just do have to point that out that we did move on from D'Angelo Hall, a former 3-time Pro Bowler for 3 different teams, man. I won't say that we will or will not miss him. Only time will tell. Now, let's talk free agency. So, if you don't know when free agency start, I got a whole little breakdown on that. Okay, so free agency officially starts March 4th, okay? March 4th is the last time where a team can either franchise tag or transition tag a player if they want to. March 3rd is the NFL Combine, Scouting Combine. That's when the last official day is. And then March 10th is the legal tampering window that teams can talk to said players about possibly signing with them. And then on March 12th, that's when teams can negotiate and everything just free falls from there. All the way up until, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say April, a little bit after the draft. That's when free agency ends. So, with that being said, Jevon Holland is going to be the biggest fish in the defensive back market. Now, if you don't know who Jevon Holland is, he is a safety, former second-round pick from Oregon, age 24, 5 career picks, 4 pass breakups this past season, 62 total tackles, and 15 games played. Now, I know that we might be taking a risk on a young guy. Break the bank. At this point, we got to get younger on the defensive side. We need to break the bank, and we need guys that are going to take the ball away. Now, if you compare Jevon Holland's stats, let's just say to the guys that play for the Carolina Panthers, the Xavier Woods, Sam Franklin, this past season, he's younger than both of them. He's played, I want to say about 2 to 3 fewer games than Xavier Woods, 5 more games than Sam Franklin, had more total tackles than Sam Franklin. Now, Xavier Woods was playing strong safety. Jevon Holland is more of a free safety. Has had more interceptions than Xavier Woods, but that's just kind of, just a back and forth. And if you want to talk about him versus Jordan Fuller is also a guy. Like, let's just look at the numbers. Jevon Holland, age 24, has more tackles, has more games played this season, has more career picks than this guy. And this was a guy that we signed. Jordan Fuller is not an asset. He's a liability, currently speaking. And then if you want to take an even deeper dive, if you want to talk Jevon Holland versus Malachi Starks, a guy that I said we should not draft number 8 overall. Malachi Starks, 14 games played this past season, 1 interception, 3 PBUs, 4 tackles for losses, and 77 total tackles, which is more than Jevon Holland's on the total tackle end. But this is how I look at it. When it comes to young talent on the outsides, the cornerback, the safety, I believe that you need young talent, especially in the NFC South when you're going up against guys like a Drake London, like a Chris Olave, like a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. This is going to be probably the biggest signing that we will have at the safety position. Our safeties are bad. We are going to let go of one of these guys. Like this guy right here, Sam Franklin, he more than likely is probably going to be out of here. Sam Franklin's probably going to be gone. You might see Xavier Woods gone, but you're definitely going to see Jordan Fuller out of here. Only 9 games played for what we spent for him. I think we're in a situation where we have to just clean our hands with the guys. Jordan Fuller, let's get younger. It's okay to move on from said player if they're not producing. It is okay to move on from said player if they are old. It is okay to move on from said player if there is somebody that is better in free agency. And I believe Jevon Holland is going to be the biggest fish in this market. Young, a guy that has great ball skills, a cerebral player, plays free safety. He was making a transition to strong safety this season. I think that we will keep him at free safety. So you got him. You got J.C. Horn. If depending on what we do at the safety and corner spot is going to say a lot about where we go number 8 overall. I was on record saying in my last episode we are going Will Johnson. If we go Jevon Holland, if we get DJ Reed in free agency, we're obviously not going to go cornerback in the first pick. But as of right now, currently speaking, at number 8, we are going Will Johnson, the DB from Michigan. But Jevon Holland, the biggest fish in the market, is somebody that we got to reel in this upcoming free agency. And I think that we will be. Now, Dan Morgan, he has been on the record. If you don't know who Dan Morgan is, he's obviously the Panthers general manager. He has been in the news lately just for his intentions for this offseason. But I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to let you hear or see what he said about it. So Dan Morgan was discussing Panthers offseason plans. We're going to look for guys on both sides of the balls defensive guys who can take the ball away, offensive guys who can make plays. I mean, it's simple. Like, we have to land Jevon Holland. We've got to get guys that can take the ball away on the defensive side. When you think of the great Carolina defenses with the Chris Jenkins, the Julius Peppers, Ricky Manning Jr., the Luke Kuechly's, the Thomas Davis, the Josh Norman, the Keon Coleman, when you look at these guys took the ball away at a high clip. The Carolina Panthers of 2015 took the ball away at a high clip. The Panthers of 2003 took the ball away at a high clip. We're not taking the ball away, and it was evident in 534 total freaking points this past NFL season, the most in NFL history. So Dan Morgan, I believe he's going to make a huge push for guys this offseason. I can only take the man at what he says for his word. And right now he has been proven to kind of be, I wouldn't call him a liar, but he's been true. He's been a truth teller. He's been making moves. I think that we're going to make more moves. I don't want us to trade for Cooper Kupp. He's literally Adam Thielen, but just 1 year younger. I think that we're going to look for guys like a T. Higgins, like a DJ Reed, like a Jevon Holland. So if we continue if we just continue to trend in the right direction, what Dan Morgan is here on record saying that we're going to get guys who can take the ball away and guys who can make plays on the offensive side, it's going to turn out to be true. So, man, I look forward to that. Jevon Holland, the biggest fish that nobody is talking about. If you don't know who Jevon Holland is, please do your research tonight. 24 years of age. He's going to be a guy that is going to be highly sought after, and the Carolina Panthers should put all their chips on the table for this guy moving forward.